Collins,
Yeah.
you bet.
But unfortunately, we don't have time to answer it, so...
Well, listen, I don't want you to ruin the surprise of who the next guest is yet. So if you go hide behind the dead trees, they'd like to be surprised. So, all right. Listen, lady, Entertainment Weekly is fake news. Here we go. We're saying goodbye. That's Matthew Cohen. That's Rob Benedict. I'm Richard Spade. Thank you very much, everybody. Mr. Misha Collins. I'm so bummed. I'm glad to have you here, and they're glad to have you here, sort of, but I was so excited to hear Rob's answer to that question. It's such a bummer. Maybe next time, you know what I'm saying? Misha, have you enjoyed yourself in Nashville, Tennessee? This is my hometown, you know.
I have. I went out for ribs last night.
Awesome.
And I still, I'm like, it's an intense cuisine.
It is.
That your people consume.
We had I took a busload of Supernatural fans on a tour of Nashville. With my dad, so it was the double dick tour of Nashville, and we did. My dad knows all things South, and we went and had lunch at a place we love called Loveless Cafe, a landmark joint. And I tell you, after you eat lunch, anywhere, anytime in the South, especially like in the Southern food,
You need to go take a nap.
we were crawling back under the boat. We could not physically move.
You gotta go sit on the toilet, you gotta go take a nap, and then get your stomach pumped.
It is not a light meal. It is not a light meal. The one time I was here years ago, and I haven't done this since, I ate at a Waffle House. Has anybody eaten at a Waffle House? Piece of advice, if you haven't eaten at a Waffle House recently, Misha, note to you, if you do go to a Waffle House, go ahead and eat it while sitting on the can. Because it's going to make a beeline for the brown door, if you know what I'm saying. That stuff is brutal. That stuff is brutal. There's nothing right about anything.
I think Waffle House is going to be rescinding their spokesman offer.
Hey, listen, if they want to take me out, just send me a sample. I mean, I'll just...
Waffle House, eat it on the can.
And on that unsavory note, ladies and gentlemen, Misha Collins.
How many of you work at Waffle House? Quite a few, right? How is everyone? That just took a creepy turn. It was,
I love you.
I love you! And when I'm done with you, I'm gonna eat your body parts. So sweet, so sweet. Speaking of the brown door, I was eating breakfast. We have some weird family rituals. To share or not to share. My daughter has a thing where she likes to give some sort of when she wants. I don't know how else to say this. When she wants to be white, she used to say, "White me." But generally speaking, her parents are distracted and not paying attention, and they don't hear her. And so she's essentially crying, like calling out helplessly for somebody to wipe them, and nobody ever comes. So she started implementing a new system whereby she was going to give a different signal when it was time. Like she was going to scratch on the door. So Since you don't hear me when I say wipe me at a screaming decibel level, I'm gonna scratch on the door. And then I explained, like, actually that's pretty hard to hear too, so maybe we should come up with a different thing. And so she got, you know, those little, I don't know what they're called, but they're like the little, like, jingle bells, like little tiny silver things that have a little ball inside that, like a, something like that. I don't know. That a belly dancer might like have on there, right? Like one of these tiny little bells, and she's like ringing that. Also, we came to the conclusion not effective, and then, so then she's like, I'm just gonna whistle, which is great, except for her whistle is. So I'm always on edge, like just listening for weird sort of like this, basically I guess the sounds that you would expect a squirrel in the wall to make. And that's to be white. And I was having breakfast with West, and Mason was in the bathroom, and she said, West, again, I'm actually thinking, I shouldn't talk about this. Later on, my kids are going to be like, you know what my asshole dad did? We'll talk about our bathroom experience. But anyway, she said, West, come look, my poop looks like a penis. And he was totally not phased, and he said, no, I've seen that before. And then, maybe 30 seconds later, she said, West, come look, my poop looks like a vagina. And he looked at me like, and then without a word, he just got up and went to take a look at what was on offer there. It's not what I expected to be talking about. Sorry. Breakfast with the kids. We were just talking about podcasts, and you remember that podcast Serial? It was very famous. Everybody listened to Serial. Well, then I thought it would be funny to do a podcast called Serial, but spelled different. I can't remember which spelling is the right spelling, but mine was like breakfast cereal. And how is that spelled? C, yeah. Okay. So, and it was just I was like, I'm doing a serial broadcast, but I spelled it, cereal, like breakfast cereal, and then it was just me. I just recorded a typical morning breakfast with cereal, and I took a couple of pictures to document the podcast, like just to be the freeze frame that went with like the podcast online. And then a few days later, I was just editing it because it was really long and super boring. And I grabbed, and then I was like, oh right, and I took some photos too. I'll bring those photos, I'll import those photos now. And I went through my photos, and I had taken like 3 photos, one of which was my son stepping up onto his chair with one foot, and his bare foot in his sister's cereal bowl. And the amazing thing about that was, I had no fucking recollection of that. Like, it was just like such a commonplace sight at breakfast that I had no recollection of that. And I'm like, Jesus, that happened. I live with animals, absolute animals, which is true. We maintain sort of ironclad authority, which the children just ruthlessly flout. They never ever listen to anything that we say. So we just say it anyway, which is what all the parenting books say too. I've never read a parenting book. Would you like to go first? You see, you're shaking your head emphatically. So yes, go ahead.
Okay. So my question question is, do you have any advice for someone who is kind of weird that finds it hard to make friends really easily?
Do I have advice for people someone who's kind of weird has a hard time making friends?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I tried that.
You tried that, it didn't work? Someone said, do gish whiz. How many of you guys have done gish whiz? Nice. How many of you are going to do it again? Nice. So those are all weird people that might be your friends. That was sound advice and not a piece of advice that I would have thought of. People do often report that they have made very close friends. I think there are a few people actually who I know of in this audience who have made close friends doing gish whiz. So that's an option for you. I'm not really a great one to ask because while I do consider myself a little weird, I have no friends. So, not a great role model. Jared and Jensen are not friends. They're more like cellmates. I find myself stuck in this situation and they with me, and we just make the best of it. What? You? Are you volunteering to be my friend? She raised her hand like, yeah. Like, you just get picked. Like, all right, we're friends now. I'm very demanding of my friends. You should know that. You're gonna hate it. I used to, when I was a child, we moved a lot. Like every year, at least once, to a new school. So I was always a new kid at school, and always trying to figure out how to fit in. And that was exacerbated by the fact that my mom liked to dress me as crazy looking as possible, and I didn't know that that was weird. I just thought, like, of course, I'm gonna wear my plastic cowboy boots and like fluorescent plaid pants to school with nail polish. So I was kind of ostracized. I was weird to start with, and then that stuff was layered on top. And then I was always the new kid at school, so I had a hard time making friends. So I don't actually have any advice, I just have empathy. It can be hard, but as you get older, I think it somehow gets easier for a lot of people. No, I'm hearing people, friendless people in the audience saying no. Embrace your weirdness. Oh, this is good. We're like group problem solving right now. This is no longer a panel, it's a workshop. And we are going to solve your problem. Embracing your weirdness is good advice, actually. That's a good piece of advice. That is actually good advice, because I think a lot of times people try to hide the thing about them that is strange somehow. And that is actually not a terribly attractive thing to do. But if you embrace that strangeness about yourself, then people are like, you know what, that girl is weird, but she goes with it. I like that. I want to be your friend. And then you're going to be like, I don't want to be a friend with that weirdo. And the whole cycle continues. Hi.
My question is, do you believe in the paranormal?
Do I do what?
Believe in the paranormal?
Do I believe in the paranormal? Yes. Do you? You do?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's nuts. Wait, what's that?
I have a ghost that lives in my apartment, I swear.
Really?
Yes.
Do they pay rent?
No.
Do they like at least split the utilities with you? Freeloader ghost living with you.
Yes.
How do you know that there's a ghost?
Well, I have a fan in my room, and if you're not in the room, that fan will move. If you're in the room, it stays still. And then I had a calendar.
Wait, how do you know the fan is moving if you're not there? It's like she walks out of the room, she's like, I can tell it's moving. And then you go back and it's still. And then, okay. So I'm not yet convinced. What is your other evidence?
I had a calendar that was on the wall with
Yep.
a nail. And next thing you know, it flies off the wall and lands right next to my refrigerator.
Wait, it flew off the wall?
Yes.
In case, for those of you who missed the heckler in the front row, the question was the fan on? Well played. We may have solved your ghost problem with that. Again, with the workshopping, this is good. You know, from now on, I think the panels should just be it's not a question, it's bring your problem to be solved up to the front, and we will crowdsource a solution for you. So yeah, you just have a fan, you don't have a ghost. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that for you. And you're welcome, on behalf of all of us. Hi.
Hi. Spoiler for anyone who isn't caught up from 2 weeks ago. How do you...
Okay, so to my ear, that was not English. Can you say that again?
Sorry. Spoiler for those who aren't caught up from 2 weeks ago.
Oh, spoiler, yeah.
Yes. How do you feel about Cass taking initiative with Billy and solving that problem?
That's just a little taste of what friendship with me is like. Where is that camera? That's really spooky.
It's right over there. Over there. Over there. That way.
We haven't really handled your question yet. On a 1 to 10 scale, how satisfying would you say this experience has been for you so far?
I'll have to process that later.
You're probably in the 1 range, 1 to 2-ish. 13. I think that the whole cosmic consequences thing is a little bit scary. Yeah. And I think that we're going to see those cosmic consequences playing out in unexpected ways toward the end of the season. We're getting toward the end of the season now, in terms of shooting.
Shooting, not showing.
The passage of time is a sad thing. We're all marching toward the grave. But I don't want to bring us down. So yeah, but I think we're going to see that play out. We are going to see it. I don't think we know. I don't know why I'm tension. How satisfying are you now? 8? 8? She didn't get all the way there, but it was pretty good. Was it good for you? 8. Hi.
Hi. My question is, we see a lot of you out in public, like you're always tweeting or posting or something of you out in public. How is it that you don't just have a swarm of people behind you, like Forrest Gump, everywhere you go?
What I typically try to do is when I'm taking selfies, I just crop those people out of the just quickly turn so that they're not there. But usually there's an entourage of somewhere between 40 and 60 people with me at all times. Even when I'm sleeping, they're there in the bedroom. Yeah. That's right. You're very quiet and respectful while I'm sleeping, so I appreciate that. So, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but not all waking life is a fan convention. Is this news to you? Yeah. So, it's a kind of funny thing because the supernatural fandom is very, for want of a better word, insane and very intense. And so, within the fandom, it feels like very intense. But the vast majority of Americans don't watch Supernatural. And don't. I know, Americans are the worst, aren't they? So I can sort of be, I'm not, I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, we get recognized a lot, but it's not like super fans everywhere. There's just, but if you go somewhere like Brazil or Moscow, it's different. Then it really is a crowd of people following you around. It's totally awesome. Yeah. When I was in Moscow, there were like 200 people camped outside my hotel. Like the hotel had to hire extra security to deal with the Supernatural fans. Isn't that awesome? I mean, the power that I felt at that time was... and Brazil was similar. Brazil was really intense too. There's a lot of, on my social media, like on Twitter, I'll see a lot of Portuguese comments, which I don't read Portuguese, but I imagine that they're saying lovely things. Yeah. So there you go. Thanks for asking that question. I love you too!
Hi, my question is, do you consider yourself to be a method actor? Why or why not?
I thought you said mega actor. Yes. No. What does method mean? What is that? Are you a method actor?
Where you just put your emotion into where you're completely engulfed in the character?
Yeah.
You don't separate yourself from it?
I try to separate myself from my character. Yeah. I think it'd be weird not to, especially since I have character traits like the ability to time travel and teleport. And if you really try to get into a kind of method zone about that, you risk sort of losing your mind entirely and living under a bridge for the rest of your life. So, acting in television is a funny thing because we all tend to be really blasé about it. Like, no one ever talks about their process or how they go about, getting into an emotional scene, or even how they learn their dialogue or anything like that. For some reason, actors always pretend that just I think it might be cooler, it might seem cooler just to be like, yeah, I don't know, I just do it, I just go and I say the lines and I just, whatever. So we all try to keep that ruse up with each other at all times. And every once in a while, there'll be a guest star that comes on the show who is very sort of openly method or something. And we're all like, freak. And then we secretly go and do it in our trailer like a respectable person would. But it's an interesting thing. Even at auditions, like if you go, in the audition circuit in Los Angeles, everyone tries to be really casual, as if they're not thinking about the role or getting into character at all in the waiting room. It's for some reason it's part of the game that we all play. It's all alive, but we all do it. We pretend that we're not trying at all, even though we're sweating bullets inside. How satisfied are you right now? I like the idea of taking a customer satisfaction survey. You said 9?
Yes.
Wow, you're easy. Okay. Because I only gave you about 4. Hi.
Hi. First, I want to tell you I admire you for everything you do and for using your power for good, both as yourself and as Cass. My question is there someone, like an actor or actress or a musician that you'd really like to meet that you haven't got to meet, and why?
Thank you, that is very sweet of you to say. I try to tip the scales a little bit toward good and more than evil actions. So thanks for noticing that. Well, you know, one person that I've been hoping to meet for a long time, this is gonna resonate with no one, is Bob Garfield, who is a National Public Radio personality. He does a show called On the Media, and three people know what National Public Radio is. He did this story on Nashville in the mid-90s that was actually like a life-changing experience for me listening to this story. He was in Nashville for a conference, and while he was here, he did a story on, I think the story was the title of the story was something like Bob Garfield Saves Country Music. And basically he came to Nashville and he's like, well, I'm here for the weekend anyway, I might as well record a hit country music song. And he's not a musician, nor is he a writer of songs. And he just walked into a recording studio and was like, hey, I'd love to do a hit country music song. How do I go about doing that? And by a series of totally bizarre coincidences, who the hell was it? It wasn't Johnny Cash, because he was dead. It was like the top country music singer ended up recording his song when he was done with it. And it was just an amazing story. Bob Garfield, Nashville, Google it, it's great. Yeah, Liz. You asked what the name of the song was? Yes, it was, so, thank you. Hi.
Hi, Misha.
Hi. You're doing well.
My question is, what has been the most rewarding thing that you and Random Acts have been able to accomplish?
Great question. I suppose, there are a few things that stand out. Building the orphanage that we built in Haiti, we're in process on building in Nicaragua right now, a school, but we built an orphanage and community center and school that is a very beautiful, very big, very, very well constructed building in Jacmel, Haiti. That was our first big project, and it was a real wing and a prayer, that project, where basically I had friends and coworkers who had strong relationships with a woman who was in Haiti, in Jacmel, who had been devoting her life to doing work there for a number of years. And so we knew that we had sort of a good person to work with in Haiti, but we had no idea whether this cockamamie scheme of actually building this orphanage was going to work. We had no experience with it, and no reason to think that it was going to work. And I asked people to give a lot of money, like I raised a lot of money for it, still not knowing whether it was really going to work, but promising that it would. And so it was really gratifying when it finally did work out, and worked out kind of beautifully. And now we get Bonit, who's the woman who runs the orphanage. She's Haitian born, but she worked as a nurse for 35 years in New York and then went back to Haiti after that. She is such a lovely woman, and she calls, I think once every 6 weeks or something, she'll call. I'll know it's her because the caller ID will say Haiti. And she calls and she says, I'm just calling you. That's my Haitian accent. It's very similar to my Nashville accent. And she'll just shower me with like these blessings, like God bless your family, God bless you, sending you happiness, blah, blah, blah. Not really an update on how things are going, just like this deluge of love that lasts for about 60 seconds, and then she gets bored and hangs up, and it's so sweet. But she'll also send us photos when new kids are brought into the orphanage, and that's really gratifying to see. We also did a project with Gishwas this year, where we, it was kind of impromptu, but Philip, who works on Gishwas with me, has a friend named Giles, who is a war photographer, and he knew of these families they're Syrian families. They were refugees living in a tent city in Lebanon. And they were in just terrible, terrible circumstances. Like the mom had been paralyzed from the neck down by a sniper bullet and hadn't left her tent in 2 years. There's a Koala, this girl who at 12 years old tried to kill herself so that her siblings would have enough food to eat. They're just living in just utterly horrific circumstances. And for Gishwas, we had an item which is get someone else to donate to help these families. We thought it was going to be one family, and then overnight we raised enough for 2 families, and then 3, and then 4. And now we've got, we're getting photos of these families moving into their apartments and just being so happy that they have a roof over their heads and they're getting medical attention and schooling and all that. And that's a collaboration between Gishwas and Wing Max, and I'm super proud of as well. It's really, I find it immensely gratifying to see these very big, very concrete things. You know, we're not like solving any kind of endemic problem. We're just isolating, in these instances, very specific, very personal stories, and then getting to see them resolved, and that is tremendously satisfying. It gives me like a 10 on the satisfaction scale.
You make the world a better place to live in.
Hi, I love your work. I admire you as an actor.
This is doing wonders for my ego. I should be
Your ego is fine.
Yeah, you're right. It's totally overblown. I don't know what I'm talking about.
The song you were talking about was Tag You're It by Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson, that was it. Thank you.
You are so cool. And
It's about phone tag, too. That's right. It was like an idiotic concept for a country music song. It was about playing phone tag. And Willie Nelson saying,
yes.
You gotta listen to that story, you guys.
It's a great song, too. My song for you.
Sing it, sister. Let's hear it.
Anyway, Cass has played so many different personas. Which is your favorite, least favorite, and why?
I don't know. I had fun with 2 iterations of Cass. I mean, I guess probably I should say just regular Cass, my favorite Cass, because that's the political answer. But I really loved playing a version of Mark Pellegrino's Lucifer. And I also loved playing human Cass. Those were both really fun to play with. It has been quite an arc for that character. He's changed dramatically over the last decade. It's really kind of remarkable. Going back to the method acting question, it's kind of interesting to work with no, I don't think any actor ever expects to work on a role for that long. And it's interesting to experience it because I'm not making a whole lot of like, super conscious choices about character behavior. It more feels like it's become just another facet of me somehow. I don't know if that makes sense, but a lot of it operates unconsciously now, and the changes that the character makes over time do that as well. So Castiel has changed because of the situations that he's been in and the experiences that he's had, has changed over time. And a lot of those changes are just now kind of a part of this aspect of myself. It's really weird. I can like put on the trench coat and immediately just feel like Cass. And I think that the same is true of Jared and Jensen. It's just like it's an article of clothing that we wear, and it has become really integrated into us somehow. You weren't asking about that though. The least favorite. You know what was interesting? I had a hard time with Crazy Cass, and maybe it's because it was a little too close to the bone or something. But it was an interesting process because Ben Edlund wrote that episode when he sort of became Crazy Cass, which is what we called him. And he was also directing, and we went through the most sort of bizarre seesaw of directions with it. Like, he had me doing like a version, like in the first take. We don't have a ton because it's television and things are moving fast. Major character change, but we didn't have time to rehearse it. It was just sort of like, show up on set, all right, let's see what you got. And I had an idea, and he was like, you know what, try the diametric opposite of what you just did and see if that works. And I was like, oh, okay. So I did the opposite, and he's like, no, you know what, go back to the opposite of what you just did again. And so I was doing this sort of seesaw, trying to find a tone for that character. And it wasn't, I wasn't that version of Castiel for very long, so I didn't feel like I ever totally really got it. It always felt like it was a little uncomfortable and it wasn't quite working. So maybe that. How's that? It was actually like a relatively honest answer. I feel dirty. Hi. There's a woman in the middle back left of the house who speaks in stereo. It's very strange.
Hello.
Hi.
My fiance and her friend are big fans of your cooking show with your son, and they're wondering why that hasn't been a big thing on your YouTube channel recently.
Yeah. Sort of calling me out there, huh? I get it. All right. Okay. I'll do another one. My son has gotten a little bit self-conscious about the camera, so I might have to like hide. Maybe Cupcake, for a number of reasons, is the wrong choice for that disguise. It's too small, so the iPhone would be sticking out of the sides of the cupcake. And it's very difficult to justify following somebody around with a cupcake. So, I should workshop that idea. How should we hide the phone? Get a GoPro. Also a camera, though. Not a terribly clever disguise. Although the GoPro kind of is an interesting idea because we could do like a 360-degree virtual reality experience where the viewer could be right there in the midst of the horrific travesty of cooking that's happening. What? Have him wear the camera. Oh, good idea, so that we can't see the subject of the film. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, you did not go to film school.
A teddy bear.
Put it in a teddy bear. Okay, that's just getting creepy. So, this is sort of devolving into me having hidden cameras in my own home. And creating a culture of fear between myself and my children.
There you go.
Why did you stop doing the cooking shows with your son? Well, because my children don't want to feel like they live in a surveillance state. Maybe I could just, I could just say, hey guys, if you give me some good product here, I'll take you out for ice cream. That's not a bad idea. I have this thing where they, like, on camera, they're always eating Brussels sprouts and kale and stuff like that. I'm like, how do you get your kids to eat Brussels sprouts and kale? I tell them if they do that off camera, if they do that, they get ice cream later. It's genius.
Make Mason do it.
Make Mason do it. Did you say make Mason do it? You are going to be a great mom someday. You are going to stand there and pretend you enjoy cooking with me. What? Oh, that is not a bad solution. Glasses with a hidden camera. Again, surveillance and creepy children's family services kind of situation. Let's move on from this. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, I'm really nervous because I think he asked my question, but I don't know.
Wait, that was your question?
I think I had to get it approved, so I don't know.
Wait, you don't know what your question was?
No, I know what my question was. My question was, is it going to be...
Wait, I want to get into this process. So, your question had to be approved?
Yes.
How does it go? What's the approval process like?
I have
Is there
to
a lot
tell
of
him.
red tape? Oh, you tell him?
Yeah, and he approves.
Oh, really? You know that he has no authority over that, right? He's just some guy that likes people to tell him things in advance. He likes spoilers. He wants to know what the question is before it happens. Yeah. Okay. So, but he did approve.
Yes.
Have you, sir, not approved many questions so far? No. You approved of them all. Yeah. Okay. They were good questions. Well, that's sort of a challenge then for those of you in line. Try to get a question that does not get approved. I'd love to hear that question. Maybe you would have then, sir, you'd have to ask the question if it was an unapproved, officially unapproved question, right? I just want to know how this works. Okay, so your question, now officially approved, thank God. May have already been asked, but you don't know?
I couldn't hear him when he asked
Oh, you
me.
couldn't hear his question?
No, because I was talking to him.
Okay, well, his question was about how we can hide cameras in the toilets of our own homes. Is that the same thing you were going to ask about? Okay, then you're in the clear.
Alright, I have to ask this question because I think my sister would get mad if I didn't. She wants to know what
There's
the
a lot of backstory to your question.
sorry. She wants to know if there's going to be another Cooking Fast and Fresh with Lex. But yeah, that's what I figured it was the same question.
Can you refer to the past 5 minutes of discussion for an answer to your question? Would that work for you?
Yeah.
No, now you're sad. Okay, so what about this? Let's just wing it and ask an unapproved question right now, just quickly. And it's on an unrelated topic because we did just definitely 100% deal with that question that you just asked.
Now I'm nervous.
Weirdly, it was exactly the same question, by the way, because his question was my fiance. Well, like was asking on behalf of somebody else because he was too guilty to admit that he wanted to know. Same thing that you're doing right now. So, what's just an impromptu, totally unapproved question? Go for it.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm starstruck. I don't.
You can do it.
I don't know.
Okay, shit. All right, sir. Do you have a question? No. Somebody throw them a lifeline. How about this? What about the woman behind you in line? Maybe she could give you her question. Yeah. Quick, save her. What color are my underwear? Always orange. I've now become obsessively superstitious about underwear color, and my thinking is orange underwear are lucky. I don't know why, but it's like orange underwear are lucky, and I still have underwear that are not orange in my underwear drawer, and occasionally I'll pick them up and I'll be like, is there anything that and then the question I ask myself is is today the day that I can afford to not be lucky? And the answer is never yes. So I always wear orange underwear. But I'm too, I don't know, cheap to throw out the non-orange underwear. If anyone needs, actually, you know what? I should just move on. If anyone needs some size large men's underwear that are non-orange, raise your hand and I will get your address and mail them. They are very gently used because they're not orange, so I don't actually wear them. We have some takers. Guys, put your hand, out of self-respect, put your hands down. We're talking about used underwear that don't fit you.
You act like we care.
Okay, we're trying to help this woman ask a question. Are you willing, would you be willing, this would be a tremendous act of generosity on your part, would you be willing to maybe share your question with her? Okay.
In her defense, it's really hard to hear right here.
It's hard to hear?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I was going to ask how...
So does that mean everybody in line has not heard anything going on the whole time?
Well, it's really hard, but...
Yeah, okay. You didn't miss anything. I had a hard time with Crazy Cass. I liked Human Cass, and Cooking Fast and Fresh with West is espionage. That's the gist.
Thank you.
Okay, now that we're up to speed.
I was going to ask how it feels knowing that Eric Kripke thought of you for Timeless just to kill
You're
you.
right, It was really hard to hear right here. I didn't hear what you just said. I'm going to go back over here to the monitor.
Okay.
But how do you, should you share this with her somehow? What? You have to share your question with her a little bit somehow. Take a fucking question! Okay. Let's do it.
Do you want to hear from me?
I don't know. Figure it out over there. You guys can share it somehow. What about this? What if she holds your iPhone while you ask the question? That'll feel a little bit more communal. Yeah. And also, are there any weird pictures on there? Okay, go. What's your question?
I was going to ask what it was like. How did you feel knowing that Eric Kripke brought you onto Timeless just to kill you off?
How does it feel? You know, I have not quite phrased that in my head that way. Interesting. Did everybody hear the question? I heard some no's. So the question was, how do I feel knowing that Eric Kripke brought me onto Timeless just to kill me off? It was awful? It made you cry? God, you're such a softie about Elliot Ness. Yeah, I didn't frame it that way in my head. Thank you for reframing it for me. How did that work exactly? Is Eric sitting there like, I hate that guy, Misha. He just tweeted again. I hate his tweets. I wish I could kill him. Wait a minute. I can. I was flattered that Eric wanted me to come die on his show. I've died for Eric more times than I care to think of. I think I think there have been a few times when Eric thought he was really killing me for good, and then it's like, he's coming back again. Like when I was a Leviathan, I guess that wasn't Eric. That was somebody else. Yeah, maybe Eric often does correct people. Yeah. Eric does not hate me as much as you say.
We love you!
Boo, Rob. Boo, Rob ruining everything. Boo. God, and Billy, too, Billy, you're complicit in this destroying of this moment. I'm just gonna come out here and see what's going on. Boo.
We hardly had time to answer any questions because some of the questions were so long-winded.
Why did Eric Kripke bring you on just to kill you off? I love how quickly you turn on me. And we were bonding.
Hey, listen, I tell you something. They love you until you get between them and them Collins. And then you get between them and them Collins, forget it.
I get it. Mark Shepard's in the house.
Mark Shepard's right there.
Hey, nice t-shirt. I love the t-shirt. Pretty sexy. Nice work. Are we done?
We're done, dude.
Yeah.
We're done.
Goose is cooked.
That's
huh?
it.
Wow.
That's it.
I mean, if it were up to me, you'd get another
Yeah,
hour.
Robbie and I voted. Robbie and I go, let's let him stay on a little bit. But no, Norton, Billy, and Mike are like, nope. Airtight. We got drugs to take. We're banned. We're not banned.
I was in eating ribs last night, and these super hardcore rockers came in and sat down, like leopard print shirt, unbuttoned all the way to the navel, hair like out to here, teased up, dyed, and they sat down next to me, and I was like, so, are you guys accountants? And they laughed, and then one of the guys was like, as a matter of fact, I am a CPA. It was kind of an amazing Nashville moment.
How was it? How was your experience? Shitty? I mean, were they nice to you?
Oh, here or in the restaurant? With the accountants.
Them.
It was good.
Really?
Yeah, we did a lot of crowdsourced solutions to individual problems. It was very productive.
Sounds hilarious.
Super productive. Not funny, but productive. What's my satisfaction?
How was your satisfaction level for your Q&A?
I'd say it was. I feel like you guys want me to say it was a 10. It was going to be a 10, and then we had that weird thing with like people asking other people's questions, and it felt awkward there. She's crying. She's crying, and now she's crying. So you know what? That brings it down to an 8.
She was fine until Rob walked out on stage.
Hey, this would be an amazing moment if people had rotten tomatoes. It would be so great.
Note to self.
Yeah, guys, next time.
All right, she's gonna say something to the microphone.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Sarah. I just want to say how much of an amazing person you are, and you're just amazing, and thank you so much for everything that you do. I didn't think I'd get to answer a question, so I just, sorry. Anyways, my mom said to write, she wrote this down, she said, and I think you're already an angel, but she said, if you were an angel, what would you do in this world? And you've already done so much already, but I mean, if you were
If I were an actual angel?
Yeah.
First of all, thank you. And please everyone take note. If you could do a little preamble to your questions along those lines, it'd be great.
Pre-question worship.
Pre-question worship, yeah.
Oh no, nobody's meaner than you, Mark. You still hold the throne.
I suppose, angels, they possess all sorts of powers, right? And they can do tremendous things with those powers. So I would probably, even if I were just angel for a day, I would probably use my powers to erect an enormous statue in my honor.
Finally, he gives an answer that makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, Misha. Saturday people. So great. So emotional. We learned so much. We felt so much. We joined hands. We clasped hands. We wrote glasses. We did all kinds of crazy crap today, Baba. We did it.
We really did it.
Mark played tambourine on that song. It's all fantastic. So now autographs are happening. Photographs are happening. For me and the band, Autographs and photographs for you guys, or photographs coming up for you fellas.
Yeah.
All right. Then I want to get to Keister right back in this room tonight for Saturday Night Special.